There's drifting out of either.
All right, folks, coming to you from Lexington, Ohio, which is a village outside of Mansfield,
It is.
and having conversation today with Chris Trease of the web team. The preface for today's conversation is in real estate, lots of people get in. In the Mansfield board, there's 437 agents, but the truth is in real estate, most people don't make much of a living doing it. We've all heard the 80-20 rule. Real estate might be more like the 90-10 rule, where 10% of the agents do 90% of the output. Yet what's different in real estate is many industries, you got to be at it for years before you gain traction. You've got to have the experience, you got to have the bona fides, you got to have the connections. It's rare that somebody comes flying out the gate and becomes a top agent in the area. So Chris, year to date has sold 39 homes, on pace for 45 or so to close out the year. We're recording this in November. By units, he is the 8th ranked agent in the board. And by volume, he's the 6th ranked agent in the board, which is incredible. But beyond your production, Chris, give us your background, family, what you did before you got into real estate. And Chris has been licensed for 15 months. He's a new agent by all standards, but he's come flying out the gate. So I'm excited to dive into it.
All right. Well, I'm married. I got 4 kids. My background really is in retail. I'm going to date myself a little bit. Started out as a manager at Service Merchandise years ago. Yeah.
I remember as a middle schooler going and looking at boom boxes in Service Merchandise.
The catalog showroom. America's leading jeweler. That's what it always was. That's
okay.
So after 5 years with that, I went into sporting goods for MC Sports, and I spent 24 years there. So
wow.
Yeah, it's a long time. Our store closed in 2017, and okay, what am I going to do? Because I'm mid 40s, and kind of popped around. I do have where I work to close retail stores. So the people who I closed my store came and wanted me to close stores.
Okay.
And I've done that for a few years, and it's interesting. You walk into it and you're kind of feel like you're ruining people's lives there.
Yeah.
And then
you're just doing your job,
exactly.
But you're the bearer of that.
Yeah. So because I had that empathy, because I had it done to me, I really worked well with people. And I think all that kind of set up to this.
Okay.
And I just wanted something to be closer to home, and where I could, work and really help people find their dream and find their house, whether it's their first one or it's their second one or it's their final one. That's really what I kind of got interested in. And when Stephanie started the team, I kind of saw that she was starting, and I'm like,
you guys knew each other from church.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you were already personal friends.
Kids are friends.
You'd seen them doing it, and something about their life and their business attracted you.
Correct. Yeah.
So most people, especially in this area, the overwhelming majority of agents are solo agents. As you were first, kind of the seeds of real estate were being planted and you were exploring new career options, why did a team become the option for you?
I think let's look at it in this aspect. I feel like as a new agent, it's going to be my career. If it's going to be my career, and that's what I was thinking at the time. Now I know it is my career.
Let's just pause on that. What's the difference between a career and a job to you? Why that mentality?
MC Sports was a job.
Okay.
So it was a job because I felt like it was just it wasn't a 9-to-5 job, but it was a 5-day-a-week job, 2 days off, mixed hours. And I think I settled in the fact that, I think I'm just going to end up retiring here. And I've done it for so long, grown accustomed to everything. I like challenges. And I would move store to store to get that challenge.
Sure.
So I do enjoy that. Now, this being a career, I can settle in, like you said, with numbers. It kind of shocked me, where I am this year for my first year. And I think it's because I take a lot of care in my clients. And I know a lot of agents say that, and I've dealt with a lot of agents that I can see that they do that as well.
Right.
But I really focus on not just getting that sale, but building that relationship to the point where.
Yeah. So it's, we can talk relationship versus transactional,
right?
Relational versus transactional. I think a lot of people are drawn to this industry because hey, the commission on a single property is more than you might make, in a couple of weeks at another job.
Right.
And so the transactional element is attractive to people, but the difference between a job, to your point about your previous environment, and a career is you're you've got the long look. It's
Right.
not just about this house, it's about what?
That the next one and the next one, again, those referrals. So back to the whole team aspect.
Mhm.
If I'm starting out on my own, I'm starting out with having to pressure my sphere, that I know to
Mhm.
sell their house, buy a house, who's looking, stuff like that, hand my card at the coffee shop, talk at gas stations. Not that I don't do that, but now it comes up naturally. So
Right.
they know who I am, and they start the conversation with that. I don't like to pressure my family, my friends into that. It's now starting to become a conversation because I'm very relaxed.
So the momentum and the visibility piece of an already existing name in your community,
Yep.
people are more likely to know that you're doing it rather than if you're just kind of grinding
Right.
on your own.
Correct.
Okay,
And then so we obviously get leads as a team,
Mhm.
and then we work those leads, and that really helped you. I think anybody who's new as an agent should start out as a team because they really, and again, all teams are different,
Sure.
but this team, I've just found that, we just work really well together. And we take those leads, and it's a competition, but it's not,
Sure.
we help each other, within that, with questions or whatever. So I think as a team aspect, and when I talk to I've talked to many agents recently that just got licensed,
Mhm.
and I can hear that pressure on the other end. And I'll ask the question, oh, how long have you been, an agent? And I'll get a short, maybe 5 months or 3 months. And you can tell that but I think as a team, you have that aspect of being able to go to and ask questions, go to your lead, go
Right.
to people who've been doing it. Not that they couldn't, but if they feel more alone, maybe than what.
Right. And I think momentum is so big and mindset is so big. And in your first few months, getting wins is big. And I
Yeah.
mean, I tell brand new agents when they're first getting licensed, don't plan on getting a check for your first 6 months. Just like get in that mentality that you're going to have to push and grind for a little while. And
Correct.
you're saying with a team, I'm more likely to get at bats faster from. All right, folks, we are resuming the conversation. Just had a technical glitch with the camera. And so we finished the conversation and now we're going to try to pick back up because Chris said some really great stuff. We were just talking about the value of you getting more opportunities by tapping into a team that's got momentum and where leads are flowing. Tell me more about the value of that for you.
We said at bats. So
Yep.
Great baseball analogy. I don't know if you knew this, but I played semi-pro baseball.
Mhm.
So through Munson Stadium, I've played it a few times. When you're a 300 batter, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
That's all that analogy. So I kind of take that with my leads, people who are ready, and I try to focus on there it goes.
It's moving. So we're just going to go here.
That's better.
Yes.
That won't move.
All right.
That won't move. All right. I kind of. All right. So I really try to focus on those leads, and kind of get in tune with where they are. Are you 3 months, 6 months down the road? Are you now someone? That could be someone with a letter and who's shopping around. And then
a pre-approval letter.
Correct. Yep. Right. And then all of a sudden, you can kind of tell. So I feel like I've done a good job of balancing that and focusing on the people in that bucket that are now. And
are you super scripted? So you get a lead or you meet with someone. Is it, hey, here's the checklist of questions that I'm going to be sure to ask them, or is it more organic than that?
I like organic. That's why, like for this, I just wanted to be here. I know it sounds kind of fun to wing it, but it's just I can do that, and I feel more personal. And going back, it's funny because as an agent, you see people, and I've been to showings where nothing against it. Everybody has their own, the way they dress and everything like this.
Yeah.
I feel very comfortable with what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel comfortable. It makes my clients feel comfortable. You're going to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I've walked in where someone's in a full 3-piece suit and vest and stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what works for them.
Yeah.
This is works for me and my clients and everything like that.
Yeah. So, and I think we talk about you're new, we focused on that, but your prior experience working with all kinds of different people.
Correct.
Has honed your ability to be organic. I think sometimes when people aren't converting at a high level, it's like, well, it's because you're not saying the right things in the right way. And because you got, a career's worth of experience, not specific to real estate, but building rapport with people, you're able to be more organic than the less experienced.
Yeah, it goes back to building that relationship with them and not just selling a unit.
Yep. So let's talk about, we've talked about leads.
Yep.
We've talked about kind of the momentum that comes from that, the recognition. What other points of value have come from being part of the team for you?
Well, I think it's really leaning on for questions. If you're a solo agent, I'm sure you have people you can talk to. I've talked to some that I feel like they are like, oh, how long have you been in it? They're new at it. And you can just tell that's kind of where I was, but then I had a team to go to bounce ideas off of. I think it's using and blending what you are learning in the field versus what you learned taking your classes.
Yep.
And then in the team aspect, you're learning from the team around you. We are competitive against each other, but not to the point of, we just can.
A competitively collaborative culture.
Correct.
We're for each other, but also
But
you want to win.
Yes, and I know I can always go to my leads or, to my lead Stephanie to answer a question, but I can also go to anybody else on the team and ask a question, bounce ideas off of, and very free to do. And I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
So
talk about, and this isn't meant to be just a team conversation.
Right.
It's a you conversation, but team is a big part of that.
It is
for you,
it is a big part of it. Yep.
Two main reasons that people are kind of would say, Chris, you're crazy for being on a team is one, you're not getting your own credit in the same way. So your name visibility is a thing. And then the other is you're probably not making as much per deal as many agents that don't have a team are. Does that matter to you? Why or why not?
It doesn't matter to me. It matters, I've had that conversation with why are you on a team? You could do, and it's when you share the numbers with me of the area, I look at it this way. I've dealt with a lot of agents. They know who I am. I don't need it to just be because it's on a page and that's where I am. I now know where I am.
Yeah.
Other agents know me. I have good conversations with them. So on that aspect, I am known.
Yeah.
Just because it's not with a number attached to it to the board because it's the team.
Right.
On the other side of things, I think that that you get too focused and caught up in I'm going to make this percent and this percent.
Yeah.
But when you're getting those leads and I'm able to capitalize on those leads, then I'm hitting, and all teams are different, but I'm hitting a cap number to where I'm making more. And I do focus on that a little bit. And then I'm
well, and another one of our team leads at our office will say, would you rather have all of a grape or would you rather have a slice of a watermelon?
Right.
And it's like, hey, congrats on that great percentage of that tiny little thing. We've already said that 65% of agents in this area have sold 5 or fewer homes year to date. Like that's not a living.
Right.
And for you, it's like, oh, congrats on your higher percentage. I've sold 8 times as many homes as you.
Right. And then you're bringing home more in the
you're providing for your family.
Yeah.
And I think for people who are is providing and making a good living more important than whatever recognition. And for those that, you're married and you got 4 kids, like, I'll provide every day of the week.
Absolutely.
As opposed to your face being on a sign.
Because my clients know me. My clients know me and that's what's important, know, and so.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's cool that real estate, it's a great equalizer industry where I've done deals with an agent that's been licensed for 20 years who doesn't know as much as I do because she's taken fewer at bats than I have in those 20, like she sells a house or 2 per year. And there's nothing wrong with that. But most industries, years equal excellence. Real estate's not that way.
Well, you said the average is 5, not to interrupt you. The average is 5.
Yeah.
So I've sold 40. That's 8 years.
Yeah.
The average.
Yeah, that's right.
So
like cat years, dog years, real estate years.
Yeah, 8 years, exactly. 8 years.
I haven't thought about it that way. So he's an 8-year veteran as of
I'm an
today.
8-year veteran. Yeah.
So kind of moving towards a conclusion in the conversation, if you were to rewind to August of 21 when you were first getting started, and if there was one thing, hey, I want to make sure that I do this again. I've done this well, and this has been a really important part of my success. And then conversely, what's one thing I might do differently? How would you answer those questions?
Differently, I would have been a little bit more relaxed at the beginning. I didn't know what to expect. It was a new, and I think that's in any job you go into, job, career. I didn't know what to expect, so I was tense, at home and everything. And as I'm trying to learn the different aspects of it, I think I would have just been more relaxed and just taken what I've learned over the last 30 years in retail and, you know, in my classes and what I learned in my training with the team and just been more relaxed. And that would probably, you know, made things better at the very
You were
beginning.
tense because you didn't want to look stupid, or you didn't want to
All
mess
the-
up a deal.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Mess up a deal. The biggest thing is because the client is depending on me
Yeah.
to, and all of a sudden I'm realizing, oh, you know,
Yeah.
it's not selling a set of skis to somebody or a treadmill, it's selling a $250,000 house
Yeah,
that,
and
you
a
know, they have a
lifestyle.
$1,200 payment. And yeah, so that's
Mhm.
where exactly. So I didn't
Mhm.
want to mess that up for my clients, basically. So
Yep. So you'd be more relaxed and take it as it comes and trust your people.
yeah.
What about one thing you've done really well that you'd make sure
Well,
to do
I
again?
go back on this. So at the very beginning, as I was getting those leads and I started to sift through the leads and see who was ready and who was not, you know, I stay in contact with all of them. But it has really been as I go through that roller coaster of, hey, one time I had 11 in contract, one
Yeah.
time. That's halfway through my first year. 11 is a lie. So you're
Mhm.
trying to balance that, right?
90% of people watching this video have never had 11 in contract, probably 99%.
So yeah, so it's really taking that, and I felt like what I've done well, and Stephanie's had me share this a few times in meetings,
Mhm.
is that I really focus on getting to the table. I focus on making sure we walk through it all the way. And then I'm still taking some leads. Maybe I shut them down a little bit and don't take as many,
Mhm.
you know, fill that pipeline. And I'm focusing that bucket and
Yeah.
those. And I only one time I haven't got somebody, I've always got them to the table, but I haven't got one to actually in contract before. And maybe I read that one wrong. You know, you're gonna make a mistake here and there on some of that.
Right.
But for the most part, I think when I've went through that, I was able to enjoy my summer. I
Mhm.
take some vacations and then ramp back up for this, you know, start of my, you know, second year, whatever, in September, and, you know, ready to cap again. And
Yeah.
that's because I focus on getting those people that are ready. So I've done that really well. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm not gonna, I don't think go off of that. way
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
that.
those are skills, and that's a sensibility that you've been grooming for 30 years, like you said,
Correct.
and it's just manifest in a particularly helpful way.
Yeah. And
in
when I
this
come out of
industry.
it now, when I don't have as many leads or as many in contract, I'm not as nervous as I was right at the beginning,
Yep.
you know, so that kind of helped. I think I've leveled that off a little
Makes
bit. So,
sense.
you know.
Anything else you'd like to share with folks that are watching, or to folks that are new and exploring?
No, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited. Obviously I came into it with a crazy time in the real estate market that everybody says we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm actually excited for the challenge of, you know, this next, you know, more even level market.
Yeah.
So I've never seen that before, but I think now I've developed the skills and I'm going to be able to walk through that.
Yeah.
And my expectations are just as high for me in the second year. Now, if I don't hit that, hey, it's fine.
Not the
I'm
end
going to
of the
focus.
world.
I'm going to focus on my clients because I know that that's going to then,
Right.
you
In
know,
a shifting
it'll work itself
market,
out.
which is what we're seeing right now, we move from a speed to lead to skill based. And for you to be in an environment where you've got support, you've got mentoring, you're sharpening your skills due to the number of at-bats you're able to have, there's no doubt in my mind that agents like you are the ones that are going to take market share in the shifting market.
Right. And I'm not changing my focus on my client.
Yeah.
You know, they'll tell me, oh, I'm so sorry for driving you all around. I'm like, it's your house.
Yeah.
This is for you. And it doesn't matter how many houses we go to see, we'll get you in the contract.
Yeah.
And they get nervous too. We need to be in something pretty quickly. I'm like, guys, it'll work out.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to work out. We're going to find something. There's houses are sitting longer, you know, so you can see a little bit more and not have to choose right now.
Right.
And that's,
There's silver lining to every
really
market.
puts them at ease.
Yes.
I've really been able to put my clients at ease. With
That's
that. So,
great.
yeah.
I read a book last year called The Ideal Team Player, and it basically defines 3 qualities that you can't teach: humility, hunger, and emotional intelligence. And as I evaluate you and look at kind of part of what's gotten you to where you're at so fast, it's you have all 3 of those in spades. It's the humility to say, I don't care about who gets the recognition. You know, I'm motivated by different things.
Yep.
The hunger to say, I'm going to get up and push, because most people, frankly, in this industry don't have the work ethic to sell 45 homes in a year. They just don't.
Right.
And then the emotional intelligence to be able to understand the needs of your clients, to intuit that, but also to put that into action.
Yeah.
So thanks for
No,
taking
you're
the
welcome.
time, and hopefully it helps those that are watching.
Absolutely.